Natives are coming around. But you know when we're going to make it finally? When Native Americans come full circle, when we finally get our own network. Because almost every group in this country has their own network. Black folks have BET, shoppers have QVC, Mexican, Irish, Navajos, we've got Court TV. True TV. Native American Network, that is what we need. We'll call that TPTV. That's right. Even the game shows will be historically accurate. The contestants won't win the prizes, they'll just steal them by force. I'll be in charge of the programming. We'll have shows like Survivor Reservation, Wheel of Misfortune, Whose Land Is It Anyway?
Had a heckler last night. I know I shouldn't judge a man by the color of his neck or anything like that, but I don't want to hear that crap, Indian. I'm an American. Why don't you go back where you came from? So I camped in his backyard.
So he did. What you're doing is a quick reverse of whatever the person says to you. You can find that in treaty records. And Red Cloud at one point says, why don't you put us on wheels, and then every time we make a treaty, you can wheel us around. And you get reports by treaty commissioners. These Indians are, understand exactly what we're after. We can't deal with them. We've got to have someone else come in, because they turn that thing quick. That's a universal trait you found all over the continent. Those people negotiating treaties had a sense of humor, but a greater sense of irony. Like some of the stand-up, Rickles and others, just slice all day long. And so you had that kind of humor that Indian chiefs and diplomats used when they're negotiating.
We'll come straight on to you.
Indigenous people are known for their strength of spirit, but in film, natives are portrayed as stoic and unfeeling, often locked into the role of the noble savage. Indigenous people meet this injustice, as they do many others, with humor. But where does this humor come from, and what purpose does it serve? Drew Hayden Taylor says of native humor, like a fart in the wind, you know it's there, but where does it come from? There is a Hopi proverb that states that a smile is sacred. We believe that too, and in this film, we seek to carry on that spirit while explaining the what, how, and why of Indigenous humor. Like Drew Hayden Taylor, we are searching for that fart.
I mean, how many times have you seen dances with wolves? 100, 200? Oh, jeez. You have seen it that many times, haven't you? Don't you even know how to be a real Indian?
I guess not.
Oh, shit, no wonder. Jeez. I guess I'll have to teach you then, ain't it? First of all, quit grinning like an idiot. Indians ain't supposed to smile like that. Get stoic. No, like this. You gotta look mean or people won't respect you. White people will run all over you if you don't look mean. You gotta look like a warrior. You gotta look like you just came back from killing a buffalo.
But our tribe never hunted buffalo. We were fishermen.
What? You wanna look like you just came back from catching a fish? This ain't dances with salmon, you know. Thomas, you gotta look like a warrior. There, that's better.
Big asshole. Ah, bonjour, bonjour, monseigneur, comment allez-vous? C'est la langue des missionnaires, pas anglais. How, white man? Hello, noble savage.
That.
Get it into the
That
body.
white thing down there, right?
You're hitting. Whoa, not bad.
Huge honking divot. Right?
It's our land anyways. What is native humor?
Let's start with the small questions.
Yeah, the small questions. I think it's an exploration of, I find a lot of the native humor is an exploration of the dark side. like, come over to the dark side, Luke. But it is a lot of our humor stems around our tragedies that happen. We joke about that, and it's partly our survival technique. So I think that that's a big part of what it is. We look at we don't only laugh at the guy who slips on the banana peel, but it's a lot more funnier if he breaks his leg, I think, for us.
You can get in the front door with humor. You can get into their kitchen with humor. If you're pounding on the front door, they won't let you in. They may gather the kids around to watch on the front stoop, making a fool out of yourself sometimes. Which doesn't mean I don't believe in, that sort of confrontational activism, but it's just not me. It's not what I'm good at. Humor is, I'm better at humor.
It's more releasing.
Yeah, well, it makes me laugh too. I mean, it's sort of, those things that hurt in life, those things that continue to hurt about being Native in North America. I can handle those through humor. I can't handle those through anger.
You should always wipe your hands on your arms after eating tollan. The grease is good for them.
Among white men, we wash it off.
What a waste.
Hey, man. Everybody always says all Indians ever like to do is drink. All right, I'll give you that one. Makes perfect sense, though, because you see, the white man introduced alcohol to the Indians so he could steal our land. And some people call this one of the worst genocides in history. But I like to call it one of the longest happy hours ever. What I say, only if us Indians had an honest bartender, man. Think about it. We had an honest bartender, he'd be like, excuse me, Chief, I gotta cut you off. You're losing your continent.
I watched how the West was won backwards. We got our land back.
I mean, a lot of the letters we get on Dead Dog Cafe are from non-Native listeners who say, this show really makes me think about what it's like to be Native in Canada, or what it's like to be, a white in this country, and the kind of privilege that just accrues to you simply because, you are from that particular racial group.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Because I was thinking about the drinking problem, and because see, like the Asian man, the Indian man, we're missing that enzyme in our body that helps us deal with alcohol. Just like the white man's missing that enzyme in their body that helps them deal with minorities.
I hate Indian givers. I take that back.
All right, let's move it on.
Okay, folks, please. There's nothing to see here, please. Could I ask you to move on, please?
Nothing to see here.
Divert your eyes,
Let's
please.
go.
There's nothing to see.
Nothing to see here.
Move along.
Let's move it on. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, there's nothing to see here, folks. Please, divert your eyes.
Nothing to see here. Whoops. Nothing to see here.
That was much better.
I am dealing with cultural humor, and occasionally I'm going to hold that mirror up to white Canada and say, see, this is what it feels like.
People don't necessarily look at me and know I'm an Ojibwe, so people will say things thinking you're not Indian, and I mean, you probably get this too,
I've written 2 books about it.
Well, it's the classic, yeah, I just drink and collect welfare, I don't know what those guys, oh, well, I'm Indian. Oh, well, not you, though, not you. I don't mean you, I mean those other guys over there we're talking about. So that was kind of my impression. It wasn't so much getting beaten up on the way home from school. It was more sitting there, relaxing, having fun with, people you may not know as well, and bang, you hear something like that.
I donated some blood a couple weeks ago, and one of the nurses asked me if I was a full-blooded Indian. And I said, not anymore. She said, how much Indian are you? I said, 90%. She said, what's the other 10%? I said, orange juice and cookies.
If you don't want his drink, and name the alcoholic beverages after their possible side effects. Forget drinks like sex on the beach. Don't try drinks like orange vest on the highway. Buttery nipple? No, you have the right to remain silent. Only Native Americans that had drinks named after their possible side effects back in the day. Hey, Chief, welcome to Plymouth Rock Sports Bar. Tonight's special is half off of all pitchers that don't fall for that treaty.
What is greatest Western thrill? Kill Injun. Kill it. Is it legal here? White man been doing it for years.
Major problem in Indian country today, poison. I'm not just talking about like the stuff that's underneath your sinks. I'm talking that stuff that's in those drugs and the alcohol. People say stuff, you know, like that marijuana stuff, that weed that grows out of the ground, and that's okay. But it's not okay. That alcohol is made out of grains. It's not good for you. All that stuff, all the things that they put into those poisons, they affect your body in bad ways, and they bring about these bad spirits when you smoke them and when you drink them.
Don's deep commitment to his art stems from his own personal journey. Born one of 15 children on Alberta's Alexander Reserve, Don Burnstick's early childhood memories often center around his abusive father. This later led him to a problem-filled life of drugs and alcohol.
So I'm from Milwaukee. That's where I grew up. That's why I'm an alcoholic, not because I'm Indian. So you ain't got to worry about that. You can buy me a drink after the show and contribute to the downfall of our people. That's fine.
Like I said, it wasn't a very long time ago that our people were in a lot of despair, eh? Especially in my own life, you know, and to come to this place of just laughing and that spirit being so strong, you know, the humor spirit coming back so strong with our people. It's just a great feeling to be a part of that, you know. You know, to be a tool, you know, is just awesome, you know, and I'm really grateful for that, for being the tool that's going to facilitate this process, eh? Because we went through our whole, like, let's empowerment, and let's heal, and let's sober up, and let's do this. Now we're at a place where we're really laughing and celebrating.
People are coming to a time now where, you know, they're able to laugh and they're allowing themselves to laugh. And so people are more relaxed and they're not focusing so much, oh, you know, residential school and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But now that's a laugh. Even though we've been laughing all along, they're not, you know, muffling the laughter.
A lot of our plays have been so tragic in the last, 20 years. They've been dealing with oppression, with abuse, with alcoholism and violence and things like that. And I think now, though, we're moving into a space where we can have that humor, and that's so vital to who we are, and to share that with the non-native and our own people.
Humor is transforming. It can take you to another place, good, bad, ugly, things you want to hide or things you want to celebrate. Because I come from a tradition where even in ceremony, where that is the most crucial, most serious part of our lives, there's joke telling. There's people playing the trickster, showing their comic wit. And I think that is distinctly Native, because I would not find that in a Catholic church or a Protestant church, or they weren't doing that when I visit the Vatican. You know, they weren't cracking jokes and having a good time. So because our stories are transforming, humor is one of our elemental tools that we've used throughout our experience. And I don't see us as just being an oppressed people. We're a people that experience things and we talk about them.